And we're on. Veronica, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in today, Friday at 3 o'clock for Agents Who Win. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, Instagram follow, Facebook follow, all the other good things to keep up with us. We're sending you guys emails a lot. I appreciate you not unsubscribing because the idea is to follow, not unfollow. And Veronica, thanks for showing up and doing this again. I appreciate you coming on a second time. Everyone, I had Veronica come back on because of all the stuff with Zillow that they have going on and becoming the essentially everyone said they're not going to become a brokerage. They're going to become a brokerage. We don't know what they're doing and what's going on with it. So I wanted to bring on, we call the Queen of Zillow, Veronica Figueroa. Thank you again for popping on here. So if you can just tell us some insights, really what's going on and how can we compete and what is our role in this? And as an agent, I'm still, a subscriber to their lead service. I mean, because it is a moneymaker for us. So I'm not going to get rid of it, even though people say we're feeding the beast, yet they're feeding my family. So, it's kind of a two-way street.
Yeah, and I think that you're part of the 1%ers, right, Todd? You're part of the group that understands that you have learned to leverage what they do very well, which is build consumer trust and give consumers who are beginning to dream of homeownership or unlock their next chapter of homeownership or real estate, whatever that might be, and they may start their search online. And in your neighborhood, in Lake Mary, right, in the neck of the woods where you service people, they know you. I see your marketing, vote for your favorite realtor, right? All the things that you do for the people who know, like, and trust you, right? And the people who know, like, and trust you may still say to you, hey, Todd, I found this home on Zillow. Right. They are still going to call you the neighborhood expert who has built a relationship with them over the years. And I'm sure you as an agent who no longer is the gatekeeper of information because consumers are empowered, you probably are oftentimes grateful that consumers are empowered because you're like, hey, Angie, I got to go show the Smith family this house they found on Zillow at 123 Main Street. It's the one that they really love, right? Yeah. Because consumers are empowered now with their screen, right? Just like we're empowered with Uber, we're empowered with Airbnb, we're empowered with, Instacart, everything that we're empowered to. And real estate was just that one industry that didn't catch on as quickly as every other industry. We're late to the game, right? But what Zillow did very well is they gave consumers a really sexy platform for consumers to start dreaming. And, it was connecting the consumers with a beautiful home. And if they needed to contact an agent, it gave them the opportunity to connect with an agent. That doesn't change, right? You are still that local expert in your market. And it is our job as agents to continue to be the expert in our market. But what Zillow has done is they've decided to become a brokerage for the homes that they're purchasing. And obviously, many of you might know Orlando is a market that has the iBuyers. Very similar to Open Door, OfferPad. There's a couple different ones that have been popping around, right? And Zillow said, look, the number one mistake that we can make is be caught in the middle of what's called innovator's dilemma. It's that, you're never worried about what your competition is really doing because you have competitive intelligence on them. But what the problem is that you don't know who that person is who is in the garage, starting that new company, that startup company, right? So you have to continue to innovate because if not, what's going to happen is you're so focused on the success. And then all of a sudden that person in their garage or who's innovating the next tech or the next innovation because of radical necessity is going to come out and offer something that we didn't offer as an industry. So because Zillow was listening, because they had their ear to the ground, they understood what agents would be willing to pay for, but really what consumers were asking for. They were looking to start the experience from beginning to end with the click of a button without, devaluing the real estate agent. They said, look, we're going to give sellers more options because the industry has proven that consumers wanted more options. That's where your iBuyers came into play back in 2016, 17. It really started becoming a trend, which you and I both know. We Buy Ugly Houses has existed forever. I
was involved in that back in 2000.
Right. Everybody, investors, they just called it a sexy name, right? iBuyers have been around forever. Just like for sale by owners have been around forever, right? That's not going to change. It's just they were able to, call it a product and call it a name that had never been called and then systematize it, right? It's no longer just that flipper investor in your market or that wholesaler. So they've been able to bring their tech and create an experience for the consumer to connect with an agent. But here's what I know as their exclusive listing partner and broker partner is that they realized that even though they were buying homes, the consumer still got confused. And Zillow's North Star is always the consumer. It's always, is the consumer getting the best experience? Not necessarily the highest price point. You notice I didn't say the highest price point or the highest net or the, you know, the all the things that agents say. Is the consumer getting the best experience? Can they start with the click of a button? Can they sell their home, get their value? And if they wanted to go that route, sell it. We found that only 2% of people are accepting those offers, Todd. So Zillow didn't say, we want to become a brokerage because, you know, we want to have all these agents. They just want to service that small amount of consumers who are raising their hands and saying, this is an option for me, right? Because the industry called for it. So then what happens is they realized that they partnered with brokers like me and us broker partners. We had to go back into the acquisition business. Like we had to set up payroll, CMA analyst, field service people, all this stuff. And we raised our hand and said, look, this is great, but truthfully, we just want the leads.
Right.
We really just want the leads. Just give us the leads, right? You handle the part that you guys are really good at. And they said, this makes sense. We should, you know, control the process of our homes that we're buying and reselling them, but have a broker partner. So they've basically recently announced that starting in 2021 in Atlanta, Phoenix, and Tucson, consumers who decide to sell their home to Zillow Offers will work directly with licensed employees of Zillow Homes. You know, different timing for different markets. Orlando is slated to be the end of 2021. So you're not going to see Zillow Homes open up in Orlando until the end of 2021. And I'm going to share with you guys what I think you guys should be doing in a little bit. But the idea here is to give the consumers who decide to sell a Zillow home the ability to transact from beginning to end with a Zillow representative and not have to introduce someone to confuse the, hey, we're buying the home, but you got to speak to the broker partner. They're going to take it from A to Z. And truthfully, it's okay. A lot of people ask me, oh my God, were you hurt? Did you feel slated? I mean, did you feel like they pulled a fast one on you? No, Todd, I made a business decision. I made a business decision to go into business with a conglomerate company that has consumer eyeballs and to test something with this. And along the way, I was like, well, if you're going to make money, I'm going to make money. Let's just make money together. And, you know, as a savvy, what I would say savvy sometimes, I would say opportunist, opportunist, right? I said, is it going to give me more listings? Is it going to give me more signs in the yards? Is it going to create more open house opportunities? Is it going to create more opportunities for my agents? Then yeah, we'll try this together and see how the market reacts. So the market responded. Consumers are wanting to raise their hand and have options. Right now in a seller's market right now, a very limited inventory market. So guess what? You're not going to have that many iBuyers because people could put their house on the market today and have 15 offers tomorrow, right? And it'd be crap. Unfortunately, there's some crappy marketing out there, but it's going to happen. But it is still an option for consumers who may have to move because sudden death in the family,
right?
Or, you know, financial crisis or whatever the case might be. And they feel comfortable starting the process with a company like Zillow. Now, what is this going to mean to us as agents? Well, let's think about this. You said something very clear was people tell you you're feeding the beast. You are saying, well, it's feeding my family. Most of us who have leveraged Zillow, we don't look at Zillow as the competition. We've realized that the industry has evolved. Innovation has forced us to learn how to work with the home lights, the UpNest, the fast experts, the Zillows of the world, the Realtor.com. The problem is that because Zillow does what they do so well, they're the ones that have the target on their back, right? But Todd, we don't hear anyone complaining. You actually promote that you're home light like leading agent, right?
Yeah, and you think about that though. It's like I'm sitting here promoting somebody who's taking 25% of my money, but why would I promote them? Because they're bringing us business. And so it's, if people see the home light commercials, why not market it? Or we're 92 as our Zillow score recently, so we got touted this week from them. And who cares? But when we're in an appointment, we can use that as a leverage because people know the brand name and they know Zillow and say, hey, our call score, whatever it is 92. So we're better than the average. It means we answer all of our phones.
Yep. And that's the thing. And you're learning, you're leveraging the scalability that they can provide. And that's why we continue to be proud to be partners with Zillow. And, we continue to, stand strong behind our alignment with them because I appreciate their mission to innovate. I appreciate their their mission to create solutions for, the industry, because between you and I both know this. You and I have been doing this for a long time. The industry was really broken with bad agents who don't answer the phone, who, if they have a listing and the house is pending, they ignore the consumer. They make the consumer feel like, well, the house is pending. I can't service you.
Right.
So our industry created this mess. There was a radical need for innovation and improvement. And I am actually grateful that our industry has had to elevate. You just said it, the best of home life, right? The best of Zillow. Like, it's something that makes us stand out because we're proud to know that we have built more than a business that's just historically been known as a, high return, low bar to entry. And you've got every Tom, Dick, and Harry being a realtor out there with no true proven marketing strategy. And it was the race to the bottom. Who can charge the less and who can make the most out of brokerage? Well, guess what? That scarcity mindset is over with, right? It has elevated the industry. Only the best of the best get those opportunities. That's why HomeLight gave you the recognition that they're giving you. That's why we are the best of Zillow. Why? Because we answer the phone. We treat people with professional service. We have a proven marketing strategy. We can scale. And newsflash, most realtors who are complaining about Zillow can't even handle the opportunities that are available with Zillow. Right. If I were to tell an average agent or an agent today, hey, we've got 100 families that need your help today, could the average agent service it? No. So they have to partner with the best of the best agents. So, I think what they're doing is truly answering to consumer demands. And consumer demands is there a way that we can transact in real estate, remove friction where friction is, right? Overcome the antiquated processes from the transaction to ensure that real estate is always on, regardless of external factors. Here's the problem, is that the real estate agents only think about what's important to them. If we did right by people and not solely focused on the transaction, how much better would our industry be, right? So that's why I'm supportive of Zillow. That's why I'm okay to, let them focus on the next best step for the consumer, which is streamlining the transaction on the homes that they're purchasing from the consumer. It's their money. They're the ones buying it. They have the right to sell their own homes. They have the right to, be an MLS member. They have the right to be a brokerage, and it's their prerogative. What I know about my friends at Zillow is they're very smart people and they know how to build, but they have no desire to become a traditional brokerage today. I don't have a crystal ball, but what they do have a desire is to giving consumers choices, giving consumers service, simplicity, transparency. That is what is needed in our 21st century, Todd. I just feel that it's important for us to just be clear. Like, we've been late to the party, okay, in real estate for a long time. Yeah. It's like we're late to the party. Zillow came along and says, you guys are like way behind. Right. And they came in together with all these tech companies, not just Zillow, but they're just, again, like I said, the primary target. And they're just basically saying, okay, now let's elevate the industry. Let's see how we can improve the process. And I think that that's why agents are intimidated, because a lot of them aren't willing to keep up. And I know everybody's question is, are there going to be a bunch of Zillow blue agents running around town in the traditional manner? And, my answer, and I will put my tail between my legs, and I will say on this day, October 23rd, at 3:16, I said I didn't think Zillow was going to turn into a traditional brokerage with a bunch of blue Zillow reps going in and trying to be the Redfin of, real estate when it comes to come work for us, come work for us, come work for us, come work for us, come work for us. I don't think that that's the model. I think they're going to change the model. I think they're going to come up with a model where they still empower the consumer. They still partner with the best agents across the country, a select few of agents that can scale, that can recruit, that can develop, that can innovate, that are willing to put the consumer experience first. And while they still have their hand in the other ancillary services such as mortgage, title, apartments, new construction, and generating traffic to those portals. And Zillow offers truly is going to be a seller lead opportunity. Why would they open a brokerage when they can partner with people like you and I that already have the brokerage, and we're just going to convert? And guess what? We're not gonna deny. Guess what? We are paying them a success fee, and we'll send them that check in perpetuity all day long, so long as they're sending us volume. Because newsflash, that's what most of us who are running a big business are willing to do. And if they're the Amazon of our business, then guess what? We got to go where the eyeballs are at. I don't believe that they're going to hire and recruit traditional agents, to be the ones representing the market out there. I truly believe that it's going to be partnering with people like us, like you, Todd. And I can be wrong. And if I am wrong, again, it's okay, because it's part of innovation, and everyone has the right to evolve and build their business. I think what's important to make sure that we know is that consumers should be first. That means we have to continue to innovate. And just because we innovate doesn't mean customer service isn't important. And Zillow isn't saying to have a bunch of robots around. Zillow is saying we want to partner with the right agents who understand innovation. We want to partner with the right agents that are looking for long-term success in business, that get a lot of quality opportunities and a lot of quality families who are raising their hand now. And if they are, who are those trusted partners that we know, like, trust, that will do right by the consumer, that are tech savvy, and that, let's call a spade, we'll pay them, right? And for that reason, and as scrappy as I am, and you know me very well, I'm sticking with Zillow. I'm sticking with Zillow because it's good for my brokerage, it's good for my agents, it's good for my team, it's good for business, it's good for future clients that are going to turn into referrals, that are going to turn into, ambassadors that we're going to wow after the opportunity to be introduced to them. So for me, it's like, Zillow, keep on innovating, and I'll keep on adapting with you.
That's for the online stuff. I mean, we've gotten a call. I've probably closed 10 deals off of Zillow this year. We have a small budget, but a large budget. Small amount of our marketing budget goes towards it, but it's a good chunk. And I would love to pull it back and put it into other stuff. But I'm like, that's the one thing that people know, and they're calling because they see our name on there. And if we pull the money back, our name is now gone. And so I think we get some business from Zillow that we can't account for that. You go back to the technology's changed a lot of things. And I remember back in the day when it was real estate books. I mean, I've been in this industry for 45 years because I was born into it. But, as the horse and buggy came along, and then the books came along, and then, when you had to put the phone on the modem at the time. But when I got in 2000, Realtor.com was just coming around, and we thought they were the greatest thing since sliced bread because it was owned by NAR. And then that got sold. And then, as you said, people started that once that came around, then other people like Zillow, I think was 2003 or 4, they came around. And we were partners with them back then. And, we got out and came back, and it's probably been a 12-year run with them now. Yep. But they've taken it and gone further. And the leads do get more expensive as you go along. It is an expensive source to get business from on our side. But look at like Realtor.com's gone to Op City. They're almost 40% referral fees now. Yep. And I know Zillow's got a couple different programs that you can be involved in. But just the marketing spend, you've got to keep going up to get into the budgets. How does someone like the standard agent compete with Zillow for it? I mean, do they just stay out of it, or can they get involved, not in the Zillow partnerships, but in like the marketing stuff? And do you think after the end of next year, they're going to be we'll all be completely out because they'll have their stuff, or will they still continue to sell business to us?
It is my belief that they will continue to partner with agents who, again, can prove that they are customer-centric first, and that they are innovative, and that they respond and pick up the phone, right? Yeah. They, like I said, going back to, you can play in the sandbox with Zillow if you understand how Zillow is moving forward into the future. If you're an agent and you're not signed up with Zillow right now, I don't know if there'll be opportunity for you to sign up for Zillow until there is a, what do you call it? An opening in your market, right? Because right now, people, I mean, even as expensive as they are, Todd, if I were to go into market-based pricing right now and try to just get a zip code somewhere,
it's expensive. It's either locked out or it's too expensive.
Right. So the answer isn't, is Zillow going to allow you? It's our agents who are locked in going to pull out so that you can get in. So, you can always still update your, profile, do a nice beefy profile, make sure that you use the 3D features, make sure you're uploading your images, make sure you're doing your reviews if you want to have a presence on Zillow. But I guess going back to your question, will agents be able to work with Zillow? You know what? I think that the answer is yes. Even if you're not using Zillow today, you could always leverage the conversation by leaning into your clients and saying, you may be searching on Zillow and you may want to know a little bit more about what Zillow has to offer. I am educated on that, and I am happy to be your advocate and guide, experienced agent who can guide you through it. So get familiar with what Zillow Instant offers is. Get familiar with what all programs are out there. Put it in your listing presentation that you are an agent that understands that sellers deserve options, and you can guide them through what all those options are while you still representing them. So maybe on your listing presentation, you do have a secondary option for sellers that should they decide in 36 to 72 hours to explore an alternative method, you're still the agent who can help them navigate through it. And what's your fee for that? I just feel like we have to adapt and we have to innovate ourselves as agents and say, okay, let's look at my business and what of my business has changed and what may continue to change and what do I have control over? So they say, obviously a rising tide lifts all boats. We all have an opportunity to improve our business. And let's face it, our competition makes us better. And if Zillow is your competition and you're worried about what's going to happen with your business because of Zillow, now's the time for you to rise up. Look at your value proposition. What's your listing presentation look like? What services are you offering? Are you offering staging? Are you offering professional photography, which everybody should be? Do you have a videographer? What is that video storytelling? Is it just a regular video, or are you now incorporating families or actors, or what are you doing? I think at the end of the day, our big competitor Zillow has made us level up as an industry. It has made us look within and say, if I were to compete against them, why would someone pick me? And that's the point that I want to make. So you asked me if people are going to be able to play in the sandbox with Zillow. Yeah, I think they will. But I think what we need to say is Zillow has forced us to get better in this industry if we want consumers to choose us over them, right? We have to educate, we have to empower, we have to be knowledgeable, we have to be ready to adapt and implement things in our business that we've never done before, like video, like community outreach, like, becoming that advocate that people say, there can be any website out there. I'm going to my favorite realtor, Todd. And I had an agent that we just got a really bad review. We got a really bad review on Google, and it was someone who wrote a review about one of my agents. And, I share this because I want everybody to know it's not always glorified, right? We had an agent buyer who wrote a bad review, and it was because they said, nice guy, but didn't even find our house for us. We found it ourselves. Duh, right? And we asked him, because we found it ourselves, if he would be willing to, reduce his commission. Mind you, this is after he'd already shown them 8 homes went out with them a number of times, secured the property for them. And it wasn't even that property. It was the house next door that the developer mentioned, and he was able to get the developer to sell it to them, was able to move them in before the CEO, was able to get them closing costs when the builder wasn't going to give any, was able to get them everything that they needed. They had a really bad experience because they were relocating from Virginia. Their semi got into an accident. They lost everything. They had to live with their families. But at the end of the day, their thing was, you didn't find me the house. I found it. Like, I was the one who said, this is the house I want to see, even though, he'd already shown them other houses. And my point with this is, we as an industry now, we have to show our value from the minute we start talking to these people, and we have to debunk the idea that we as real estate agents, our only job is to find them the house. And if they click the button and found the house themselves, our value's not there. No, our value is so much more than just finding the home. And guess what? We want to work with consumers who are empowered. Hey, you know what? I want you to dream as much as you want to dream at night. Go ahead and go to your favorite app. Actually, if you go to Zillow and I'm a premier agent, you're going to get a link, a friend request that says my agent, my Zillow agent. And anything that you look at night, I'll be able to in the morning get it scheduled for you. But remember, we want to empower our consumers. We want to educate them. But our job is to facilitate the hundreds of steps that go through the transaction. We've got to change the way the industry has made us look like our job is only to open and close the door. Our job is so much more than that. And Zillow recognizes that. And this is where I say to agents, it's our job to continue to level up.
We just had a call with a Zillow coach this Tuesday, and we didn't know we had one. And there's so much stuff in the background that you can take advantage of. Get with your reps. This is probably on another tangent of Zillow, but you've got to get with your reps and dig deep into them to find out what else you can get out of them, just besides, hey, I'm buying leads. And we didn't know you had the Zillow friend request. We found that out this week, so it's funny you mentioned that. And so they can go on there and see things and get into the coach, and they will schedule weekly stuff with you. And so Tuesday, 11 to 12, whatever it was, 11:30 to 12:30 this week, we sat down with her, and she spent an hour with my team coaching us on calls and how to handle things and how to do the follow-ups and just a little deeper dive, because we on average get about 30 to 35 leads a month through Zillow, of which we close 1 to 4 a month. And she's like, you guys we want to get you to 4 to 8. We want to help you double your conversion. And, the average online business is less than 2%. And so I think it's what we're closing. So if we can get it to 4, 5, 6% of our conversion, cool. And so she's like, well, let's schedule a follow-up. I'm like, well, that was easy. And, so next Tuesday, we're sitting down with her again, going through stuff. So if you are buying stuff from Zillow, get with your reps and dig in deep to them to find out what else you can get. Because this is not our rep coaching us, but an actual Zillow coach coaching us on the calls. And they'll do a one-on-one or one-on group or whatever. But definitely that was an interesting concept with the Zillow friend request.
And someone asked me before, like, how did I get so like deep with Zillow? And it's because anybody that I'm in business with, I want to go deep with them. Like, if I'm paying you money, then I want to know, what are all the bells and whistles you could support me with? What else can we learn from you? What else do we not know? How can we become a super user of it, right? Because like every dollar that I spent was a dollar that was, it was money going out that I had to justify the return. And Zillow was one that I was an early adopter, but I made sure I went all in. And I think sometimes we just pay for services and we're not willing to go deep. You have the Zillow friend request. Are you asking for the survey at the end of this call, ensuring that you're getting a 5-star service? Did you know that on your Premier Agent app, you can go in there and see the last time that the consumer was searching on Zillow? And when the last time that they were active. So you can have true conversations with them just by learning the system and knowing that it's not just a one and done, because it's kind of like, hey, pass me the ball, let me throw it, and that's it. Oh, I didn't make it in, let me try another ball. No, go back, get that ball, dribble again, try to dunk it. Don't just try to get that immediate win. You've got to learn that that's not the reality of real estate. Real estate isn't instant gratification. It has to be a relationship that's built. And I think that Zillow has turned a lot of, and I don't like calling them leads, I call them opportunities. People who are looking to realize their dream of homeownership. They're just starting to dream. And our job is to be there for when they're ready to turn it into a reality. So yeah.
No, that's awesome stuff. The this question I had that I wanted to ask you. Oh, this, you may not know this, so let's go 2022. Will their stuff be in the MLS for us to show? And if it's not, then that's where we got to re-up our value proposition, because if the buyers are going to see stuff on Zillow and they're not, say, in MLS, then I've got to figure out how to get my buyer commission from them if I'm going to sell a Zillow house.
They plan to participate in the MLS and to be, co-broke and continue to co-broke, because they understand the power of real estate agents, and that would be a disservice to the consumers, and they're always going to do right by the consumer.
So, and this one we probably don't have an answer to, but so our listings in there, or their listings in there, or anybody's listings in there, and it's got the couple agents on the side, is it going to say call Zillow for information on this listing, or do you think those of us that are still paying for marketing will see our names on the side? I'm sorry.
I'm not going to hold you to the answer. Wait, what was the question again?
So on the right side of the screen, you pull the listing up, and let's just say it's my listing. I've got 3 names next to it. It's mine, and then two, 3 or 4 other names that are there that are premier agents. Or let's say it's Zillow's listing. Obviously, our stuff should still be there if it's our property. But if it's a Zillow listing, will it just have Zillow's information on the right side to call for more information for the consumer? Or will it still have the premier agents plus Zillow's information there?
Based on what I understand, the opaque vow, which is the form that shows the agent, as of right now, it's still there, but I know that they're making some modifications, and it will not say call Zillow for information. It'll say contact an agent. And at that point, it'll go to the agents that are participating in the program in their lead flow as an honor to the premier agent partners who choose to. Which is good. So it means that they're not becoming the big beast that they think they are, that people think they are. They're still willing to push stuff back to us. Correct.
So,
correct.
Because the idea is their employee agents aren't going to be out selling houses. Their employee agents are just going to be working on the listing side of things and doing the running around and CMAs and all that other good stuff.
Correct. And their people are not going to be doing CMAs. They are going to have robots doing CMAs.
Yeah, true.
Machine learning is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So somebody's asking, do they still offer the concierge program like they did before, where we pay them a 25% referral fee rather than upfront?
That does sound similar to the flex model that they have in certain markets, which is the hybrid market. Okay. I know that is something that they're rolling out in different markets, and some agents are having success with it. Other agents choose to stay in the hybrid model, which is more the market-based pricing, meaning they say, leave me on my contract. I'm okay with that. Just different markets are going to offer different programs based on market needs and coverage needs, because oftentimes they have consumers who are raising their hands and they don't have enough agents to service it. So that's where some relationships are being formed through the flex model.
Got it. Okay, cool. Anything else think we could drop on this? I mean, that you've answered a lot, just kind of giving the information. I know you just did this Monday on Inman, so it's kind of an easy flow for you with the initial convo. I mean, my biggest things were, are they going to cooperate with us, and really do we have to up our value proposition with our buyers if they go to a Zillow house? But it sounds like we'll still be protected, obviously, if the buyers, come back to us. And that's the biggest thing I was going to be concerned about. I mean, because I don't do buyer agreements, I don't think they're worthwhile. But I think, if that's going to be where they're going to those properties, we're going to have to show our value proposition to those buyers to want to buy from us, to be able to collect a commission on the opportunity that's there.
Yeah, and we don't do buyer exclusive agreements either, but we may be implementing that in our business just for the way the industry is changing, not because of Zillow, but for other things, because of the amount of time, resources, and what we pour in. And, I think in this new world that we're living in, we have realized that consumers will adapt to what you educate them is the way you should do business. For example, we just had a meeting with our listing team, and our lead listing partner, who carries about 14, 15 listings at a time, he's done only one in-person listing over the last 6 months. And he's probably had like 40 listings, right? People adapt to what you teach them. And if we present it the right way, say, hey, listen, working with an agent would definitely, be in your best interest. Working with an exclusive buying expert, right, is in your best interest, because we're going to focus on you and 100% on what you're looking for. And they agree to the exclusivity. We call ours a loyalty agreement, buyer loyalty agreement. Yeah. And it's is that this allows us to know that we're going to focus our time, energy, and that any home that you go show, we're representing, that you go see, we're representing you. We're going to handle the negotiations, and you don't have to worry. But it's never really been a practice of mine. But as the industry is evolving, we have to adapt, and that may be something that we re-implement in our business.
No, and I think just doing the agreements themselves, not to dive into buyer agreements, but I think it's we have the buyer loyalty as well. If you buy from us, you can get these certain things. And I mean, right now we're running a 20/20 credit partner with the lender. If you close for the end of the year, so that's kind of like any buyer who calls and they agree to sign this agreement, then we'll do that. But that's like just a one-off marketing campaign. But I think if you can get like a listing agreement, you show me your loyalty to us, we're going to then give you the loyalty back. And I think it'll engage the buyers a little bit more to say, hey, we don't think you're just another internet lead, with that. Because most of my business, as you meet them, they come loyal to you, but there's always that one who's just, I'm going to go to the next agent who's available at 5 o'clock to show me that house.
Yep. I think that, again, we as agents need to rise up. I know that you guys, fear Zillow. You know what I fear more? Again, I will always say it. The low bar to entry, the 100%ers that you can come into this industry, represent someone in the most important transaction of their life, investment, and you just got out of school and you want to go and sign up to the local place that has the race to the bottom of, I'm a broker now because I got my license 2 years ago. Now I'm a hot shot broker. And, come to me. I have KV Core. I offer 100% commission. I'm gonna coach you. And it's like the entry to the business is so low, and that's who's taking up your market share. And that's who is the person like whoring the business out, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry can be a real estate agent that doesn't have, the experience or is not willing to go through an apprentice, or they think, I don't know. I just feel like NAR's got this all mixed up, it's just, we have to elevate the industry. And I hear agents get straight out of school, straight out of class, and they come in and they're like, ooh, that's a lot. That's what's the commitment? I can get 100% down the block. I'm like, go ahead, please do. I know that those agents, it's not even that. It's just like, I hear the stories, the statistics, 87% of new agents fail within their first 2 years because people do not understand how much goes into this industry. And it's not a part-time gig where people can come in and be like, ooh, I'm gonna make me some extra money. I'm gonna sell a house here and there. Like, there's more to this. And I feel like that's a bigger threat to our industry as we continue to evolve. So I don't know.
Don't worry about Zillow. Worry about the massive amount of people taking their test right now because they got laid off from their job and they've been waiting 6 months for the DBPR or whatever to open up. And, they can all go get their test done right now. And we've interviewed a lot of people recently because as our team's growing, and some really good people that I think will be successful agents. Then I get on the Zoom call with someone. I'm like, you can't even figure out how to turn a camera on, let alone. And if you got to get into a COVID situation and you got to Zoom with somebody, just figure out the technology for that is going to be a challenge for you.
And you said it right. Like, there are some really great people entering the industry, really great people. And I'm excited because we're going to help them thrive. We're going to help them succeed. And some of them are people that, the industry's been thirsty for. They have technology. They're I would say technologically savvy. They bring energy. They have great professionalism from the hospitality industry. We just hired an attorney. We have all kind of great talent coming in. And I believe new agents can be great. The problem is that we don't have a measurement for like quality in this industry. And you could just go and, sign up with any, there's not even like a test. I would say I don't know, some sort of measurement for who's going to be the next broker in town. And I hear people doing all kind of shady things. I'm like, oh Lord, oh my gosh. It's like, I pray for them. But yeah, I think our industry, it's someone said it there, just wait for the market to cool off. Absolutely. Todd, you and I know we've been riding in real estate for a hot minute. And I never want to sound like that lady who says, honey, I've been doing real estate for 30 years. I'm not going to sound that way. I feel like every day I have to learn the industry. Every single day I'm learning the industry. I'm having to reinvent, stay in tune with it. but it is, to me, mind-boggling how our industry has such a low bar to entry.
Well, this week, I mean, I've slowed down personally a little bit with my business, so which is good because I've got a lot of things I want to implement. And so I've been taking the time there to learn some new tactics to do opportunity generation instead of lead generation. We'll call it opportunity generation for our team. And so I'm excited about all these. Like I've been getting the express offer stuff going.
I saw that exactly.
And so I'm just like listening to the stuff right now. And now I'm like, all right, can I get up at 4 o'clock this morning and finish the videos and get the link set up and you know? And it's a lot to it. And our new coach that we have is like, why is your team only 5? You got to go to 20. You got to go to 30. You know, we're going to push your business this far. But when we're interviewing all these agents coming in, and Don, who's the one who made the comment, wait for the market to cool, he's a brand new agent, year and a half in. And I walk into the office at 8:30 in the morning, and he's here at 7, getting ready to start making calls at 8 o'clock for the for sale by owners and expireds. He found the niche, and agents, I think, need to find that niche also. Is Zillow your niche, or is FSBOs or online leads or Facebook, or what's your niche? And I think those are if you can do that, you can succeed. And that's his niche. And I mean, he's going to close 30 deals this year just off of that business. But it's getting up, showing up, doing the work, and going through.
You know, and I think, Todd, I want to congratulate you on your success, but also what you just said is like, here's the thing. What we do as real estate agents today and team leaders today has changed, right? Yeah. When did you think you were going to have this fancy show? You're kind of like although you have such a great personality, extrovert, I know this is something that was originally out of your comfort zone.
Oh, big time.
So many things, right? You know, when did you and I think that we'd have to have social media as our, part of our business, but we embrace it, but here it comes down to doing the uncomfortable things. And you're saying you're waking up early to get the videos done. It goes back to the people who are successful in this industry, develop habits, we adapt, and we take action.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you do that, no matter who's around, Zillow, technology, Facebook, IG, whatever the case might be, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to adapt, and you're willing to take the time to do these things, you're going to be successful in this business.
Yeah. No, it's been awesome. And I mean, we're looking forward to some changes coming up, and I mean, and the growth that we have going on too. And, I'm figuring out where does Zillow play in all that for us. And that's why I kind of wanted to, obviously timing was perfect with everything that you just had going on last weekend, this, Monday with Inman. So I appreciate everybody coming on. Anything otherwise words you want to throw out there?
No, I mean, I'm loving this. I love this. Agents who win. I mean, I know that you've done this to bring a community together so that agents can win more. So I can't wait to see everyone continue to just crush it. 2021 is here. Let's go ahead and start it now. We're all ready to be done with 2020 and get 2021 going. So, I mean, I declare this January 1st is now. So let's go get it.
Every day we wake up is January 1st, 2021.
Yeah, here we go.
It's like a random Groundhog Day. Just make sure it's a good one.
Yes. I appreciate you, Todd.
Yeah, awesome. Everyone, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate you guys coming here, giving us your time. Veronica, thank you again. You should have a special package in the mail from us for another thank you for coming on.
Thank you. We love you guys.
All right. Love you. See you.
Bye-bye.